So it turns out there's a limit on how long I can make these videos. I didn't know that. So we'll just pick up where we left off. Number 43. I don't even know if this showed up, but whatever. 43, Flaming Pie by Paul McCartney. I'm a little thrown now because I just had to restart the video. But whatever. I don't know. The song we were singing, The World Tonight, Little Willow. I think that's about George Harrison, I think. But yeah, that was number 43. All right, 44. I think I just bunched the Paul McCartneys together. Memory Almost Full by Paul McCartney. 42. I remember liking Mr. Oh, I can't even see the name of the songs now. Why is this taped together? Oh, that's weird. Whatever. You know what? 42. Memory Almost Full by Paul McCartney. Number 41. Breathless by Kenny G. There's some good stuff on here. I don't give a crap what you think. Actually, my second kiss in life was to Forever in Love, I think, was the song that was on. But there's some good stuff on here. End of the Night, by the time this should have been higher, believe it or not. Well, there you go. 41 is Breathless by Kenny G. 40, United by Harmonscarum. I had 4 good songs I liked. I guess there's 4 on that too. Oh well. Yeah, I don't remember. Here Day Gone Tomorrow, that was good. I can't really remember what the other ones were, but there you go. 40 is United by Harmonscarum. 39, Project by Michael W. Smith, which means I liked 4 songs on here. This is the one of the few Michael W. Smith songs where records where it's very preachy, but I still like it because the music's good. You Need a Savior is a good song. You Need a Savior, by the way, if you look it up, it's very David Foster, Chicago-esque feel to it. The Race is On, I like that. Alpha Overture, so there you go. 39 is Project by Michael W. Smith. 38, Tough All Over by John Cafferty. John Cafferty is the guy that was the voice and wrote the songs for the Eddie and the Cruisers records. He's basically a poor man's Bruce Springsteen in almost every way, where like if you thought it was Bruce Springsteen, you'd be forgiven. This is okay. Dixieland was good. More Than Just One of the Boys, Small Town Girl. You know, those were all nice. 37, Once by Stun Lear. Anyone know who that is? No, not really, but there you go. They were 37. I don't know what to say about this. Do you care? Not really. 36 is Shine a Light by Bryan Adams. I expected more. No, I take that back. I hoped for more. I expected less. 4 good songs. And given the last couple records he made, I mean, honestly, Room Service was the last one that was good. And like to have a duet with Jennifer Lopez, I don't understand. I don't know. I mean, there's a cover of Whiskey in the Jar on here. It sucks because he can still sing. He still has his voice. He sings beautifully. He's kept his voice. He's takes care of himself. He's healthy. He's a vegetarian. He's Canadian. The guy sings as good as he's ever sung. In fact, he's one of the few singers that I feel, as he's gotten older, his voice has gotten better. Like his younger years, it was still great. I liked it, but it was more rough, and that was part of the thing. But his voice is smoothed out in a good way, in a very pleasant way. His voice is better than ever, and the songs now are just, I don't know. I'm glad he's still doing stuff, but whatever. 35. This is a weird one because this is what I have. It's called Speak to the Sky by Rick Springfield, but this is not an actual record. And I came to discover that after I bought this and listened to it. So apparently the 10 songs on here are 10 songs from Comic Book Heroes, which I don't have because it's expensive, or at least it was last time I looked, that were repackaged to look like this. So I don't really know what to say this is. But I listened to it, and let's just say it's 2/3 of Comic Book Heroes, and I liked it. Number 35. I don't know how else to explain that. It's kind of a mess. 34 is Night Beat by Sam Cooke. This stuff is great. It's also, again, you go back and listen to stuff, it's hit and miss. There's a lot of filler on these older records, and it was intentionally done that way. But there's some great stuff on here. But since the printing is so small, I can't read it. Nobody Knows the Trouble I've seen. Mean Old World. I like Mean Old World. Get Yourself Another Fool. That's cool. Anyway, there you go. 34 by is Night Beat by Sam Cooke. Number 33, The Monkees by The Monkees. The Monkees have some really fun, great pop songs. I don't really remember the ones on here I like. Tomorrow's Gonna Be Another Day. Gonna Buy Me a Dog. Last Chain of Clarksville's on here. I mean, that's great. So there you go. Number 32. Master of the Game by James J.T. Taylor. This guy was in Kool and the Gang. He was a singer for Kool and the Gang. I don't know much about Kool and the Gang. All I know is he was in there for a little while. I think he was there for the Celebration era, like the late 70s, early 80s. I think, and then I think he went solo, but I'm not sure about any of this. I bought this truly at a thrift store in, I want to say Colorado, but I'm not sure, just because I thought that mixed with the fact that his name is James Taylor and it says Master of the Game, I thought it was hilarious. I thought, I gotta buy this. It's $1. And then I took it home or maybe I opened it up. Turns out one of the songs was written by Diane Warren. One of the songs was written by Jeff Paris. And I was like, oh, like this might be actually good. And it is pretty good. There's some good songs in here. It's some groovy stuff. Master of the Game. Master of the Game is a good song. Master of the Game. This is incredibly obscure, and no one's ever going to do this because literally maybe 9 people will ever see what I'm doing right now. But if you know Master of the Game, the song, you go look up the song One Last Cry by Brian McKnight from 1990. It's very, very similar, and I love One Last Cry, but Brian McKnight had to have heard Master of the Game, the song, because it's way too similar. Not taking anything away, just saying. Romancia is cool. All I Want Is Forever. It's cool. Girl, You're Mine Now. I like that song. I think that's a Jeff Paris song. But anyway, 32 is Master of the Game by James J.T. Taylor. 31, this will disappoint my hard rock fans, is Without Love by Black and Blue. I know a lot of you guys love this record. It was good, not great. We're getting into like good, not great now, where I'm not crapping on it anymore. I'm just like, it was okay. Rockin' on Heaven's Door, I would have loved if they wouldn't have put that time change in the middle. It was so unnecessary. I was so on board with that song, and then it was like, oh, what is this? Why did we do this? Why did we wreck this great groove and great song and great chorus with just throwing this bizarre new tempo guitar solo in there for no reason? It wrecked that song. I was so disappointed. Miss Mystery, I remember I liked Miss Mystery. Bombastic Plastic, I think I liked. And I want to say Nature of the Beach. Don't know. But there you go. 31, Without Love by Black and Blue. Number 30, is Straight Between the Eyes by, I'm looking at it, Rainbow. I always loved Stone Cold. Stone Cold was on a vinyl compilation I had when I was a kid that I used to play drums to. And I love Stone Cold. It's such an easy song, but I do love it. Stone Cold was good. I don't remember the other songs on here I liked. I know I liked 4 songs on this record, but just looking at it right now, I can't tell you what they were. Sorry, I don't know, but I know I liked it. Number 29, Change Your World by Michael W. Smith. This is the record that got me into Michael W. Smith. Because of the song, I Will Be Here For You. Such a beautiful, beautiful song. To this day, one of my favorite songs ever. One of the songs I wish I'd written. Written by him and Diane Warren. The chord changes, the melody, the production. I know it's cheesy sounding now with all the reverb, but I absolutely love that song. The string section, the Nashville string section with all the... I love the Nashville string section because they stab those notes. They punch those notes. A lot of string sections, they don't really... the melody's hard to pick out because it's so... the attack is so delayed, but the Nashville string section is beautiful. The brass section on here that accentuates the end of that song. God, I love that song. I will never not love that song. And there's a song here called Someday, Somewhere, Somehow that him and Amy Grant do. That's basically just like I Will Be Here For You, but it's him and Amy Grant, and it's so beautiful. I love that song. I always will. And I think I just like those two. Oh, Somebody Love Me. Somebody Love Me is a good song too. I guess I just like the ballads on here, but he's got a great voice for ballads. He's got a great voice in general. And then Friends is a good song also. I went and saw him a couple years ago just because I try to go out and see everybody that has made an impact on me in person. And it was at I don't remember what it was, but basically most of his stuff is Christian rock. And I was so disappointed because he did a medley of his pop stuff. So he did a verse and a chorus of that song, and a verse and a chorus of Place in This World, and a verse and a chorus of Somebody Love Me, and then he just quit. That was it. the 3 songs I went there to hear were condensed into a 6-minute thing of him and a piano with no band, just playing those. And then he moved on to all the preaching shit. And I was so disappointed. Like, that's why I went. It was so weird also. It was my first time being at a concert where there was a prayer. And I was surrounded by people who knew all the words. Like, they started doing a prayer. And, like, all of a sudden, like, 600 people around me are doing this thing. And I was like, this is creepy as hell. Because I didn't know what they were doing. But they all fell right in. And then he would just be talking. And he'd go, blah, 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 blah. Amen. Whoa! Like, everyone around me just knew what to do. I went to hear Place in This World. So, anyway, I'm sorry, I'm off track. This is a great record. Those songs meant so much to me that it elevated this album in the list. So I went back and tried to listen to the rest of this record to see if there was anything else on this album that I missed when I was younger, and there wasn't. It's mostly just kind of filler that I didn't really care for. So there you go. I talked about that one a lot. Sorry. All right, 28. I can't say this because it's French, and I'm from Missouri. Well, actually, saying I'm from St. Louis is not a good defense for saying I can't say this because it's French, because St. Louis is a French city, but whatever. However you say this, by Harry Connick Jr., I'm going to say Chanson du Vieux Carre, because I have no idea how you say this. But I've gotten into Harry Connick Jr. in the past few years. His record, Oh My Nola, from a few years ago, I love that. So I'm currently, I just started making it Harry Connick Jr. one of the artists I'm going to digest this year, and it's going to take all year. The guy's got literally 24, 25 albums. It's stupid. I love this kind of stuff, though. And again, this is a symptom of what I was talking about earlier, where everything that I love with the guitars and the bluesy based stuff and the songs about like We're Gonna Rock and all that, it's just, as much as I love it, I've heard it. Stuff like this, where it's a little more musical, a little more jazzy, a little more whatever you want to call it, moves me more now because I don't have a full hard drive of this. I don't have an extensive catalog in my head. So I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I've never heard something like that before. I really think that's why a lot of musicians, when they get older, get into like hardcore jazz just because it's so different. I don't get that yet. That stuff that's just like noise, but I am starting to understand why people start moving toward that. Like Bruce Hornsby. I love Bruce Hornsby, but if you're following Bruce Hornsby's career, some of his stuff has gotten really out there compared to Mandolin Rain, but that's because artists and musicians grow and whatever. And so I'm on tangent. Sorry. Anyway, 28. I really dug this. Ash Wednesday, Bourbon Street Parade, Mardi Gras, New Orleans, just good stuff, man. All right, number 27. Some Mad Hope by Matt Nathanson. If you don't know who Matt Nathanson is, I will turn you on to some of his stuff. He appeals to a lot of different demographics because he's kind of pop, he's kind of rock, he's kind of folk, he's kind of country, like he does, and he's got some really good stuff. And here's what I love about Matt Nathanson. This dude cares about the lyrics. He cares about the words, and that matters to me. I love people that give a shit about what they write. I saw him last year. And he was I'd never seen him before. He is so good live. He sings those songs like he wrote them yesterday. I was so impressed by his voice, his control, and just his passion. And he delivers that shit like he's feeling it. And that's not easy to do all the time. This dude is awesome. His records, I'm yet to come across one of his albums that I feel is consistently good. To me, they're like half brilliant and half I don't get it. But still, definitely an artist that I would really recommend everybody digging into. Car Crash is great. His biggest song, I guess, Come On Get Higher is on here. You know, Come On Get Higher. Sugar Lane covered it. And Come On Get Higher. This, blah, blah, blah. That was terrible. I've been talking for 45 minutes. I can't sing. Bulletproof Weeks. Awesome song. Detroit Waves. So this is really good. So there you go. 27. Some Mad Hope by Matt Nathanson. And now we're going to do the last 26 songs. Oh my God. This is taking way too long. And this is just a matter of not necessarily numbers in terms of like how many I liked in relation to how many songs are on the record. This is just my top 26 of 2019 that I came across. Here we go. 26. Trouble by Whitesnake. I also went through all the Whitesnake this year. So I'm all caught up on Whitesnake now. I made sure I got through all the Whitesnake. That's why there's a lot of Whitesnake showing up. As much as I love Whitesnake, a lot of their older stuff is the same shit. How many times do you think David Coverdale has written the line, "Gonna give me all your lovin'"? You know, give me your lovin', your lovin'. Like I do love Whitesnake, but they write the same lyrical song. There's 3 songs: Little Boy Lost, I Want You, and Rock and Roll. Like basically, like there's exceptions, but I like the Little Boy Lost songs, like the We Wish You Well, Sailing Ships. Those are the ones I really love. Fare Thee Well. That's not it. That's not what it's called. Forevermore. Sorry. Anyway, 26 is Trouble by Whitesnake. I think Take Me With You. I don't like the unnecessary cover of Day Tripper, but whatever. Nighthawk was good. Anyway, there you go. That was it. You guys don't care. Yeah, you do, or else you'll be watching it. Anyone who's watching at this point must care what I think. Number 25. So here's an interesting thing. This guy, I had to stick him in here somewhere. It's not really an album. The guy's name is, well, it is, but it's not. His name is Tyler Lyle, okay? Tyler Lyle is the singer for The Midnight, if you know who The Midnight is. They're my favorite synthwave band. I mentioned them earlier, and some of my friends really love The Midnight. He has, I think, 6 or 7 solo albums on his own that are downloadable on his own name. Stuff from like 2009, 2010. And some of them are like those downloadable albums where there's like 3 songs, 4 songs. And then there's other ones that are like 10 songs. So I'm not familiar with it enough. This is the first one. And there was a great song here called The Parade. And there was one called what was it called? See, again, it's printed out, so I can't use it as a reference. But it's very interesting to hear the guy from The Midnight, his solo stuff that he wrote all by himself. It's more folky. It's not Midnight-esque at all, but it's his voice and it's his words and it's his, I think, who a lot of him really is, like the heart of him. So I wanted to stick it in here somewhere. There's some really good stuff on here, but I've not delved into Tyler Lyle enough yet to speak with a lot of authority. It's just, this is the singer from The Midnight, and if you didn't know it, he's got about 40, 45, 50 songs of his own that are not part of The Midnight at all, and this is where it starts. So I wanted to stick that in there somewhere. So there you go. Notes from a Parade by Tyler Lyle. 24, speaking of folksy stuff, Peter Bradley Adams, Between Us. Peter Bradley Adams was the guy that wrote all the stuff for East Mountain South. If you don't know who that is, look up So Are You to Me by East Mountain South, which is one of the most beautiful, beautiful songs ever. So Are You to Me by East Mountain South. It just breaks your heart, but in a beautiful, wonderful way. It's one of the sweetest songs ever. Anyway, that dude wrote that, so that alone, I will listen to anything he does. It's very folksy. It's about the words. But there's some good stuff on here. I May Not Let Go. My Love Is My Love is a great song. I love the Full Moon song, and then Emily's Rain. So there's some really sweet stuff on here, and very atmospheric, moody. It's very sparse. You know, it's just that kind of thing, but I like it. 24, Between Us by Peter Bradley Adams. 23, 7 the Hard Way. Again, this is a weird thing I got. 7 the Hard Way by Pat Benatar. Just straight up 80s pop rock. She's awesome. Who doesn't love her? I mean, gosh, she's so good. So I think there's like 5 songs in here I really dug. The Art of Letting Go is good. Invincible's on here. Invincible is just one of the coolest friggin' 80s rock songs ever. Invincible, I think, was written by... Was Holly Knight a part of Invincible? I think she was. Her and somebody else. I can't remember. Anyway, 23. 7 the Hard Way by Pat Benatar. Number 22. This is just kind of a weird thing I had to stick in here somewhere. Season 2 soundtrack for Treme. I went to New Orleans a couple years ago and I love it. So I started digging into it. Not a lot, and I watched the show, which I know isn't like the real New Orleans, but I have heard people who are from there or like it say that it's pretty close to New Orleans, so whatever. Anyway, the music, super cool. So there's some great stuff on here. There's like 18 songs, and I like 6 or 7, but still, it's really cool stuff. So there you go. Number 22, Treme Soundtrack Season 2. Number 21. This is an album I listened to when I was younger, but I've decided to revisit it this year. Loverboy. Actually, this is a band just like Whitesnake and Michael Levy Smith, where I spent this year. I went back and tried to revisit the stuff to make sure I got it all, and I did that with Loverboy also. So when I was younger, I liked this record. I revisited this year, and honestly, it was pretty much the same as before. I still love Notorious, Break It To Me Gently, Don't Keep Me in the Dark, and I think I must have dug up another song or two I liked on here, but that's pretty much it. It's a good record, though. So there you go. 21 is Wild Side by Loverboy. Number 20, DNA by Backstreet Boys. I like this. I like the Backstreet Boys. I don't like their old stuff. I like the new stuff. Never Gone from like 12, 15 years ago is a great record. And since then, I've been listening to them. There's one in there that's a clunker. But this was good. There was some songs that weren't great, but there were some songs that were very catchy and very good, and I liked it. Passionate's great. Chances, Chateau. Went and saw them last year. And it was so great. And a lot of it was tracked. Like the backing vocals were tracked, or they were singing along with it, but they were all singing lead, and they did a great job of putting in all the hits, and then they did like a verse choruses of some of the new stuff to try to get that out there. I think they sang like 25 songs. It was crazy. And the audience was like all women in their 20s, 30s, 40s. And the energy was awesome. The energy was so cool. It was like a big arena, and it sounds so dumb. But when they're like, everybody, and it's like everyone, the energy is awesome. Like, I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan. I respect her. I respected her more before the pop crap. But I always thought a Taylor Swift concert would be fun just because of the energy. Anyway, 20 is DNA by Backstreet Boys. 19 is Wilson Phillips by Wilson Phillips. I listened to this a long time ago, but then I went ahead and my random number generator decided to make this something I listened to this year. And there was some really good stuff on here. Hold On, even though it's overplayed, is a good song. Impulsive, I always loved Impulsive. Over and Over is great. I don't know why they did a cover of Reason to Believe. No one needs to do that. But Eyes Like Twins is cool, and The Dream Is Still Alive is cool. So half this record is really good. So 19, Wilson Phillips, self-titled. I'm going to run out of time again. I'll do that for the top 10. Oh my God, how crazy. Number 18, I finally got around to listening to this record this year. The Lizard by Saigon Kick. I've seen this forever in a bunch of groups I'm in and friends of mine, and I finally got around to it, and it was not what I was expecting, because the only thing I knew about them was Love Is On The Way, which is still a great song. Those harmonies kill me, but that's all I knew. I had no idea it was this. Yeah, that being said, some of this stuff was very interesting and really was like, this is great. And another half a dozen songs to me, I was like, this is not for me. It was too 90s, too kind of, I don't know how to put it, but it wasn't for me. But I still enjoyed the crap out of it because it was something a little bit different. Everyone loves Hostile Youth. I didn't really like Hostile Youth. But Peppermint Tribe was awesome. I still love Love Is On The Way. Chanel, as dumb as it is, that goof, that fun, like, I don't even know what to call it, the song that closed the record. I really like that. Miss Jones I like. So yeah, this is an interesting record for sure. This is one of the more interesting albums of its time in terms of like the styles that it kind of touches on. It doesn't go real diverse, but more so than most. So 18 is The Lizard by Saigon Kick. Number 17, this was also kind of like Tyler Lyle from earlier. It was kind of hard for me to understand or decide how to put this in here, but I did. It's Queens of Heart by Carmina. If you don't know who Carmina is, there are a couple of sisters in California who have done some really, really great stuff, and I wish more people know about them because they've been around for 15 years, and they're incredibly talented. They're very good. This was kind of a strange thing, and I'm not even all the way through it. They did this thing this year where they released something called Queens of Heart, but they did it in acts. So Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. So I got Act 1, and I loved it. So this is, again, a piece of paper because it's all downloadable. Act 1, all 3 songs that are on there, and I wish I'd written them down now so I could talk about them, were beautiful. Wondrous Love was beautiful. And the song about I can't think what it's called. The last song with the characters in it was beautiful. Those 3, listen, it's $3. Go get Act 1 of the Queens of Heart by Carmina. And if you want me to tell you anything more about Carmina, I will. They're really wonderfully talented. I love their hooks and harmonies, and I wish more people knew about them because they're so good. But that being said, this is like 3 songs, but they also released Act 2, which I didn't like, and it was only 2 songs. And then Act 3 came out, and I got it, but I haven't listened to it yet. And then Act 4 is coming out or some crap, I don't know. And then apparently they're going to release them all on a CD later this year, which I was kind of like, oh, I would have just waited for that. But anyway, number 17 is Act 1 of Queens of Heart by Carmina. Did that make sense? Number 16, Walk in the Fire by Strangeways. I have heard about this record for a very long time, and this is one of those in the AOR melodic rock world where it's very heralded, like, you got to hear this, you got to hear this. So I got, it was a gift. And yeah, it was very good. There's, again, it suffers in my world from me hearing a lot of songs like this before, so it doesn't impact me as much as it should. But the ones that I dig, I really dig. So I think there was like half these songs. I think 5 out of these 10s really, I was like, this is great. And the rest were good, but it just didn't really hook me. But this was good. This was good. A 16. I know I'm hard to impress. So 16 is Walk Through the Fire. Walk in the Fire by Strangeways. This is my first Strangeways album that I've ever listened to. So I got the other one that I'll get to whenever I get to it. Number 15, Midnight by Grace Potter. Grace Potter had her own band, Grace Potter the Nocturnals, who had a great song. We had a lot of great songs, but her big song at the time was Ooh La La Paris. I saw her live a few years ago. She's awesome live. She put this record out a few years ago. I bought it just because I like Grace Potter. And I remember she got some shit for it because it was more pop. And her Grace Potter and the Nocturnals is not pop. So I just put it on the shelf like everything else, and I got to it eventually. And a lot of these that are decided by my random number generator. I got a random number generator on my phone, and I put 940 in it, and then it picks a number, and I listen to it. So this was good. It was good. Again, about 5 out of the 10 songs were great, but it is kind of poppy. I do feel like she was shooting for like the dance market to try to be like a pop star. And I tell you what, she's got more talent than at least half those pop stars have. She can friggin' sing, she can write, she can play an instrument. Hot to the Touch is great. Your Girl, great song. Your Girl's almost Prince. I always felt like Your Girl was almost her trying to be Prince. There's some Prince influences here. Delirious is cool. And then Let You Go is kind of sweet. So I like that. 15 is Midnight by Grace Potter. 14, Weight of the World by Harmonscarum. I listened to this many years ago, but I needed to revisit it. The only songs I remembered from it were Weight of the World and Killing Me. And I remember I didn't really carry any of the rest of those songs with me. So I was going through Harmonscarum again this year to try to finish that out. And I was like, I should revisit this record because it's likely there were other songs on there that were good that I just didn't appreciate at the time. And I was right. There's some good stuff on here. This Ain't Over, Interlude, Seesaw, Voice Inside. Good stuff. So number 14, Weight of the World by Harmonscarum. All right, number 13. This year, I listened to both Sutton Foster's records. So Wish by Sutton Foster is number 13. I went and saw her last month, and I wanted to listen to this stuff before I went to the show. I discovered Sutton Foster through Bunheads, the Amy Sherman Palladino show she did after Gilmore Girls. I'm talking way too much. Anyway, this was beautiful. This is very, very good. By the way, her live, it was her and a piano player, and they both made me want to cry. The piano player played with such intention and such a touch, and the voicings, that I would just watch him like frowning, just like, I'm so mad at you and I'm so moved. Just how are you doing that with a piano? It was so beautiful. And she sang like people are born to sing. There are people that are born to sing. And every note. Like she sang a song I hate, but I loved it. She sang, I don't hate it, but I'm bored with it. Sunshine on My Shoulders. I'm like, all right, but she sang it and I was like, oh my God. And then Christmas Time Is Here, she sang from Peanuts, which I really don't care for that song, but she did. And I was like, oh God, it was so beautiful. So beautiful. So if you get a chance to see her, go see her. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I like this. I'm beginning to see the light, The Late Late Show, My Romance, which I've always loved that song. Air Conditioner, which is a lot of fun. My Heart Was Set on You. My Heart Was Set on You is such a beautiful, beautiful song. Just stop watching me right now and go look up My Heart Was Set on You by Sutton Foster. So beautiful. So there you go. Number 13 is Wish by Sutton Foster. And now I think this is going to cut me off again. So we're going to save the top dozen for another video. Are you ready? Part 3 of Jason's 2019 countdown. Here it comes.